Hi everyone, I'm Eric with wifi-U and welcome back to Ask Wifi-U. In our last episode, we learned that client devices decide when to roam, not the access points. But what if the client refuses to roam or to leave a weak connection? That's where our topic comes in today. What is minimum RSSI? So here's a common situation. A client has moved closer to another access point, but is still hanging on to the original AP, which has a weak signal. Even though access point 2 could provide a much better connection, then the client hasn't decided to roam yet. You may have heard of the term sticky client. That's what this is. He's still connected at neg 76, but there's another access point available at neg 55. He just hasn't gotten the message to move off the other access point. So we can help him with that with minimum RSSI. It's a setting we can configure on a UniFi access point. It allows us to define the weakest signal that we're willing to accept from a connected client. So in this example, we've configured a minimum RSSI of neg 70, and as long as the client signal stays stronger than that value, then everything is normal. But once it drops below that threshold, the access point will send a message to disconnect the client. Now, minimum RSSI does not tell the client which other access point to use. It just disconnects the client because the signal has become too weak. So the client is still going to decide which AP it wants to connect to next. It may even attempt to connect to the same one again, but we can stop that with the interference blocker option. If there isn't another access point available, however, disconnecting the client just causes a coverage problem. So you got to make sure that you're using good planning, good coverage, use a design tool to make sure that you don't have any areas that aren't covered. Okay, so in summary, minimum RSSI defines the weakest signal you're willing to accept from a client. You can configure it on your Ubiquiti access point, and once that threshold is crossed, the access point disconnects the client, but it does not choose the next access point. This is still the client's decision. If it's used correctly, minimum RSSI can improve roaming, but if it's used incorrectly, it can create unnecessary disconnects. Like most Wi-Fi settings, it's most effective when paired with good Wi-Fi design. Thanks for watching Ask Wifi-U. In our Wireless Essentials course, you'll configure minimum RSSI in UniFi and observe how clients react in real time, and you'll learn when this feature improves roaming and when it can actually make things worse. I'm Eric with Ask Wifi-U, and I'll see you at the next Ask Wifi-U.